Yo, welcome back. Different edition of Moguls in the Making, man. You already know you got your boy catching back. Oh, we in the building.
And man, you see what is going down. Y'all know y'all see what's going down. Y'all can check the name down there, Tyrone Johnson, aka Geechee, aka, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do it today. I ain't gonna do it today. No horns today, y'all, because we on a serious note today. This is very interesting. For the business that we're in, obviously, but for anybody, in the real estate community, anybody that was just looking to find their way into real estate, after the last couple of years, because it's been trouble the last couple of years, obviously. I
Yeah.
think this is a huge episode. Hey, whatever you was just on, go back to that, like whatever that view was.
Just
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
right. Cool.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, we here, we ready, and so basically, what we actually going to be talking about is Trump's executive orders to, put a relief on housing in the United States today, right? So, for all our folks that's here, give us some comments. Make sure you share this so we can get people in here. But I would like y'all to just comment relief, like comment relief right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I truly feel like there's going to be some sort of relief now. With the executive orders, they were extremely general right now, right? So we can only speak to what we feel is going to happen, but we see some light at the end of the tunnel, is what I'll say. And we can go over a couple of them, and we can start kind of just running down what those orders were exactly, and kind of going into it a little bit. But I know you want to probably hop in and say something before we get started on that.
Yeah. Obviously, man, just pay attention to kind of what's going on. Me and T we'll do stuff like this. This is just hot, current topic news, stuff that you should know. You might not have the time to do the research or just have the experience to even understand what really is happening. So we're here to really kind of bring that news to you so that you can really be able to take this, digest it, and go and put it into your real estate, strategy, or just be able to, understand really kind of what's going on, because political talk can kind of go over most people's heads, especially when you're doing business. I know, at least, when I was getting started, it did for me, like I just didn't really understand. If you're not in the industry deep enough, then some things, you don't know what's really going on, right? So we're gonna kind of break it down for you today, and see if we can kind of get started. I guess on like, one of the first one. Actually, I did have one that we can kind of go. So what we're gonna do, the format is just kind of break down what Trump said and kind of break down and put our thoughts on top of it, right? I encourage you to put in your thoughts, put in your perspectives, because he did say what he said, right? Which we'll get into that, but there isn't anything like official, like, hey, concrete, that is saying, hey, our interest rates are going to be at 3%, or we're going to change, tariffs, or this or that, or this or that, right? So that isn't official yet, but him coming out his mouth, Trump usually try, in my opinion, Trump usually try to do what he says, especially real estate, right? That's the background that he comes from. He is a real estate developer by trade. Like, he was that before he was a president. His dad was that. So that's really all he knows. He's really a businessman. This is like the first, I don't know. I'm not, maybe not say that, but he's a real actual businessman. He's not a politician.
Right, exactly.
So that's why I do believe that, one, there are going to be things that is relief, because he is literally directly it's tied to this industry, right? A lot of most of his money was probably is made in this industry. So he do understand, and he will continue to reward people for getting into real estate, buying real estate, being in the real estate industry. So um yeah, that's my two thoughts to kind of go from there. But we can kind of get into what he said, uh and go from there. So um I know one of the big things, one, like the first thing that we can talk about, that, and mind you, some of these things directly affect, and some of these things indirectly affect, the housing market. So
Right, exactly.
yeah, and these are just things that happen and stuff like that. So the first thing that kind of is on the big chopping block list is mass deportation, right? The immigrants, Trump definitely want definitely want the immigrants to be out, and he believes that the immigrants are, making the prices go high on homes, because now Americans have to compete with immigrants for buying a home, right? If people are coming from wherever they're coming from, China, Mexico, it doesn't matter. If people are coming here and they setting up shop here, it's easy to get a visa here, um, or be able to get citizenship here and stuff like that. Then they'll buy a home here and get settled here. So
Right.
he's thinking, that's one of his first things too. So what you think about that kind of?
Well, I think it kind of matches with a little bit with what he was saying, which on the memorandum, basically what he said was that he wants to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply, right? And so what I feel like that kind of like it lines up with that, because like you said, if he's able to deport, a certain, culture to a certain extent, I guess the positive part of it from an American standpoint is there will be more supply available because there's not as many people here, right, that are taking homes. So that's one positive part of it that I think. A con of that is we're talking about a huge part of the construction community being deported. Like let's not forget that. You know what I'm saying? So I know for us right now, we deal with multiple Spanish crews, like that do really good work, at an affordable price, and that we able to communicate with, and they do the best business with us right now, to be completely honest. So
Absolutely.
so when you look at that, from a construction standpoint, I'm not going to say where do we go, but people may look at that from two sides. So from construction companies, they may look at it like, hey, now we have more opportunities to pick up those contracts, right? So it's so many different sides that you can look at this from, and then obviously right now we're not going to see the results until we get to that point. But that's my take on that part of things. And I really do feel like it has some upside, but it also has some downside at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of what sector of real estate, or what sector you're in, if that actually affects you or not. But I definitely think for us, on our end, construction wise, that's kind of scary. So.
It is 100%, and I mean, because we have a construction company as well too, here, where we do our business at, and that's 100% scary.
Mm-hmm.
They do the best work, right? In our experience,
Yeah.
And if you take a decent amount of those individuals, specifically of that nationality that is doing that trade, right? If you take that away, now you don't have a housing. Now you have a shortage on labor. Now you have a shortage on labor because Americans don't want to do it, or maybe they're not. You didn't grow up, with that type of legacy, right? Maybe their dad or uncle or did it, so they learned it from at an early age. If I've been playing basketball since I've been 5, and the next person has been playing basketball and they start playing basketball at 20, I mean, there's almost no chance of them catching up as far as craftsmanship and work can go. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure, you can get outliers, but just for that example, in this is that, yeah, I mean, it's very hard. You're going to get more sloppy work, stuff that's, people not paying attention to detail just because of the skill set there. So for us, I don't know if that's the answer. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. And it's not just, obviously, it's a heavily effect on Mexicans and stuff like that with the border and the wall and all that. But, this is not just them. This is
Absolutely
across the country, many different nationalities to really affect the housing prices. But like you said, it's kind of like, swing like this. Like one thing affect one thing is definitely probably going to feel it on the other end for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Pause. But so sorry, I had to get
you always got to take a moment of seriousness and turn it into not serious.
You said it right there at the end.
It's crazy, bro.
But anyhow, so that one I definitely, like you said, I think from all sides of it, we're going to see different types of way that it's going to affect you. But another one that I wanted to speak on, which it directly has affected us, like in stuff that we've done in the past, that I feel like is going to be a positive for investors and individuals looking to get into their first homes and stuff like that is Trump's bid to slash the construction regulations.
Yes.
Now,
Here
this
we
is
go.
huge. This is huge. I want to read off this really quick,
Go
though,
ahead. Go ahead.
because it says in a study, right? The study found that the cost of regulations imposed by all levels of government typically cost $93,870, right? Accounting for 23.8% of the average sales price of a new single family home at the time, 97,300. So a lot of that is coming from the zoning laws, right? That he's going to tap into. Um, and we've dealt with this on an investor standpoint, but you got to think about this. Like, if I was a person that bought a lot and I want to build on that lot for my family, even, right, so that we can actually live in that house, I'm paying $93,000 to even get to the build part.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm paying
Yeah.
$93,000 to get to, just for me to start building. Do you get what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So a lot of times people won't build, and we got a lot of vacant land that's sitting there because by the time they go through all of the zoning, the timing that it takes to get through that red tape, I mean, it's not going to make sense monetarily wise, right? So I think this one is a huge one, man. I can't even see a con in this. I guess the con of it is that if it's too loose, you could have people just building and doing whatever, right? And so now you're bringing down the value in these neighborhoods because
Quality of work is not.
quality of work is just not there. Like, that's the only negative that I could see, that could come from this. But I know, like, for him, obviously he's a real estate developer, so I think this is one thing that he's definitely going to do is take the red tape off of a lot of this, so that people can build affordable housing units for apartments and single families, duplexes, stuff like that. But not only that, so that families that's getting into their first new build properties and stuff like that, they're able to get into them a lot sooner, and the developers are able to get through them to get them to them a lot sooner.
Right.
It's kind of like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
I think this one is a huge one, man. What you think about it, O?
Yeah. And I mean, on here it says, 7.4% of it is permit fees.
Yeah.
Whole purchase price. So that meant that's almost 8%. So if say your house is $100,000, which in very small amount of markets left in the United States where you can get a decent sized house for 100,000, still out there. We can help you do it. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm just saying it's very not that many, right? And let's say you just got $100,000 house. I mean,
Seriously.
$8,000 of that is going towards you just doing permit fees.
Fact.
$2,000 house, that's $16,000 in permits. So, the government and here, where we at in, Atlanta, definitely California, the state and the city is slow to do permit. Like, they're doing ADUs and stuff out in California. I hear stories where it's taking them a year and a half for them to be able to build a garage,
Exactly.
a deck,
Exactly.
like just simple living stuff. They're not even investors. This is just, hey, I want to have people over and barbecue in the backyard type deal. You feel me? And you can't even do that. So, I mean, the city and how slow they move and all that stuff, I feel like that's set up on purpose, right? Like, there's no way it's 2025 and we got AI and all this crazy stuff, but I got to still go pay in cash to go get something from the state. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to go print it off. Like, it's like, bro, what I mean? It's like a time capsule. You go there and it's like 1970. So I think all of that is they get your stuff, information lost. Like, how is all this stuff not updated at this point? I'm just real, just in general. So I think, all the fees and how slow it is and all of that stuff, is a thing to actually get money. So slowing that down, catching them up, right? The processes and allowing the cost to be actually more reasonable, right? Because you want to get a permit, but then you paying carrying costs and holding costs while you trying to get, you think you're going to get this thing approved because it makes sense. You look at it, it's zoning right, whatever, and you might not, or it's taking a lot longer than it should. So I mean, multifamily, all of that, man, they definitely got to do a lot better, when it comes to letting people in the door, for sure.
Yeah, and even if you think about this, like with the permits and this, that, and the other, the problem is a lot of times it may not even be the cost. The cost is extremely high, right? But it's the time. Like we're sending stuff. They send,
Right.
we're sending stuff in, and we're not getting an answer for 21 days. I mean,
Right.
that's just an answer. That ain't saying that hey, now they're about to get out and inspect this.
Yeah.
So, and the problem I think with it is, the problem with it is that a lot of these decisions are made at the state level. It's not a federal thing, right? So state to state, these laws, state to state. Listen, y'all. Even in our own state, right? A lot of people don't know this. County to county, even it changes.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Neighborhood to neighborhood, it then changes. It breaks down to that small of a
Yeah.
of a decision maker at some point, right? So how I think he's gonna push this forward. I think this is something that he's definitely gonna push in and push forward. The problem is how does the federal government help streamline that though?
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because at a state level, it's going to be extremely easier to do it, but we're dealing with federal law that he's putting in here. So what those practices will be in order to do that, it's really gonna boil down to the lawmaker state to state.
Yeah. I just don't know how. It's been like this for too long, right?
Yeah.
So I think, obviously America itself, a lot of people who vote, is largely dependent, even whether you like Trump or not, or whatever the case is. One of the biggest reasons that is affecting them on a day to day is housing.
Yeah.
The rent is too high, or this or that, or whatever. Obviously, it's everybody's biggest bill, so it is going to be at the forefront. People want to know what's going on and how do we, you know what I mean? So I think Trump is aware of that as a whole with his background. He definitely is going to do something with it.
Yeah.
And he even came out and was like, we had interest rates at 2.5%, 2.7% and under, and we're gonna get it back down and all that.
He actually said that he thought that he was going. We'll talk about that one in a second because I just don't see how that's actually
right, exactly.
But one last point that I want to make on this section is, basically his whole point in doing this is so it all kind of connects, right, y'all? So his point in doing this and breaking those regulations isn't just to make it the wild, wild west, do whatever the hell you want, build whatever the hell you want, right? It's more down the road of let's let the developers that know what they're doing get past this red tape so that we can get more supply out there, which in turn lowers the cost of housing, right? So if on my block I got a chance of purchasing only one property, they're gonna rise that price up to as high as they can at some point, right? But if you now flip the script, if I got 5 of the same choices, somebody's gonna have to make me want to buy it now, right?
Exactly.
So it goes from not a totally seller's market to buyer's market, but it gives some balance with it. You know what I'm saying? So in turn, that lowers the cost of housing. If that makes sense. So I think that's his entire goal as far as it goes, which kind of came out in the memorandum. It kind of goes, what I'm saying is a lot of this stuff is going to connect to each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
To make it make sense. Now, one thing that I'll say too about all of this is we probably not going to see it take like it's probably not going to take full effect in 2025. Like it'll be small steps towards what's going on. And as we continue to move forward, y'all just have to pay attention. Like 30 days from now, we're going to see something that comes out that makes more sense, right? That's like actually speaking to what is actually going to be done step by step, right?
And the time.
Exactly, and the time. But y'all have to, like, the advantages of us telling you this right now is y'all have to actually pay attention. Like, pay attention to what comes next. That's going to affect what comes next after that, right? So, but anyhow, I got kind of long-winded on that. I know I did.
Nah, you good, man. And Trump gonna get up there and say, this is the best, greatest decision ever in history, and I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Nothing has ever happened like this before, ever. You know what I mean?
Nobody's as bad as the last administration.
He's
Nobody's as
bad.
good as this administration.
Hey man, what he be clown man. Look, man, when he said this one time about Biden when they was debating him and Kamala Harris, they was debating. He was like, Kamala, you're making all the decisions. Nobody knows where Biden is. We have a president that doesn't know he's alive.
Right.
Oh my man, I lost it,
bro. He's definitely getting out of control, boy.
Yeah, he get out of control. He definitely get out of control. So he's just gonna say whatever, right? So he did say, hey, we're gonna get these interest rates, back down to where they were, and he doesn't actually control the interest rates. Exactly. It's not his position that controls the interest rate. It's the Fed, obviously, and it's a whole thing that control the interest rates. He can't just say, hey, we're gonna change the interest rates today and it's off that. A lot of people think that, but that's not the case. So I think he wants to put that influence, and he wants that influence out there from the American people to want obviously we want it, but to put pressure on our government as a whole, the Fed as a whole, so that they do actually make a move, and do that. So I think he's strategic about like saying that, even though he does say crazy stuff, but he's saying
his thing is normally that he's trying. I'm not normally, but one thing that he said in the past too is that he feels like the Federal Reserve should take orders from the president, though.
Right? Yeah, he did.
Not really make those, you know what I'm saying, those decisions by themselves monetarily. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know about all that. That's giving too much control, in my opinion, because now checks and the balances, you know what I'm saying? So there still has to be checks and balances. But what's happening right now, it ain't working though. So we definitely got to figure that out. But as far as that goes, like Omari said, it's so hard to speak to that because he's not the person that's making decisions. And as we've seen, like over the last month, you got the interest rates have, I mean, at least 4 weeks, they've risen anyway. For the last 4 weeks. So we'll see. We'll see get in what
almost at 7%.
Exactly. So
that's just what it is right now. But yeah, I mean, this information is important. Obviously, it's a hot topic just because he just got inaugurated to be the president, doing a whole bunch of different executive orders, releasing people from prison, permanent pardoning people. Trump got a lot going on right now. So that's one thing we know. He is going to get in and you know what I'm saying, get to doing something, whether you agree with it or not. He's definitely going to put action behind what he's saying. So
no doubt about it. He's definitely going to do that.
Right.
Like I said,
shake stuff up.
All like for instance, just to end out the interest rate talk, it's like people have to get realistic of what interest rates like are at average. So he may be saying 3% that he's trying to get it down to, but if y'all see that thing creep down to 5, y'all better not be sitting there being stupid and waiting for it to go down to 3.
Please.
You know what I'm saying?
Please don't be stupid.
So
please do not be stupid, man.
And like
Trump said, I'm sorry, T. Hold on. I just gotta because you leaning on the fact that Trump, red face, got up there and said, "Yo, we're gonna get it down to 2%." So you're just gonna wait to try to get it to the lowest, and you're gonna miss out on.
Don't be a dummy.
Please don't be a dummy.
Don't be a dummy, because you're just gonna end right back up at 8 or something like that once it jump back up.
Please don't be.
Or you're just gonna never buy. You're just gonna never enter the world of this investment world because you're scared. You know what I'm saying? Like you think that it's gonna be Christmas. It's not gonna be Christmas for a while. If we get this thing down to 3%, I mean it's basically Christmas again.
Right. And we probably got other problems to worry about. Like
exactly, bro.
If he can pull that off. Something else is going, you know what I'm saying, probably not be good, whatever that is.
It was Christmas, and it's not going to be Christmas no time soon. So I just want to get that to people's heads is that don't sit on the sidelines just because it haven't hit 3. That's not normal. That is not normal. 3% is not normal. Okay? 3.5%, 4%. It's really not normal. If you look at the actual interest rates over the last 100 years, bro. Whatever it is, 60 years, whatever you want to look at, that's not normal. So we gotta get to a state of normalcy, like around what an interest rate really should be, and really how you should be how you should be evaluating your interest rates, especially home buyers, is, and again, we have a real estate community. This is what we do, right? So we teach people actually how to, strategies on how to purchase the right way and how to weigh stuff out and how to run numbers on what what they're purchasing so that they don't put themselves in a bad position. But how you should actually be doing that is, right, is can I afford this? Do you see what I'm saying? It's not can I afford this paycheck to paycheck? Right. This can I pay for this twice in a month if I need to for the next 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the payment that you should be making. Because you got to think about emergency funds, right? Food, utilities, kids, new family members being made. All of this is still gonna be happening while you're paying that payment. So are you gonna start making more money? You don't know that yet. You see what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
start program, you are.
Right, for sure.
But no, on a serious note, though, that's what people have to start thinking about, because it's not realistic that those rates go back down to 3%. It's just not.
Yeah, it's not realistic, and there's other things that you can do in this market. It's always something that you can do, right? When there's times of turmoil, you can obviously be on the flip. It's how you look at things. It's your perspective. So it's always stuff that you can do. It's stuff that works in this market that may not work when it was Christmas, and stuff that works when it was Christmas. It's not going, so that's also the benefit of just obviously believing in us and taking your journey serious, because it's more than just, oh, I know how to do X. I know how to wholesale. I know how to flip.
Yep.
I know how to buy a rental property. Yes. But as you can see, we're on here, we're doing this, you're watching this video because the government and things that happen is directly tied to the actual business, right? It's real estate specifically, right? The government wants you to buy real estate. They want you to be in real estate. You know what I'm saying? That's why they give you so many different tax benefits, tax breaks.
Right.
They want you to do real estate because it's tied in with the government. So using experience and actually understanding what
Deja, for
strategy is better. Huh?
I was just replying to one of the comments. Deja says, she said, haha, don't miss the mark on interest rates. Take that 5%. If it gets that low, Trump might just be saying 2 to 3, and you over here waiting for nothing. And that's a fact. That's exactly what I was saying. So definitely, hey, I need you to throw some relief in here. Throw the word relief in here. Throw some money bags in here. Share with more people. Let's get some more people in here. We got 7 people in here right now. Let's see if we can get some more people in here. So we can keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? Comment.
Yeah, I forget what I was saying. You threw me off.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I had just opened up the comments and I was like, oh, damn, I didn't respond to none of the comments yet.
Yeah. My bad, y'all.
600 too, man. Experience. You're right.
Yeah. So
it's all about experience.
I think let's talk about what would work in this market. You know what I mean?
Okay.
As far as just strategy wise, right? Like maybe that didn't work, or things that could potentially work a little bit now, right? So this is just overarching. This isn't specific to anybody, one person, or this isn't saying, yo, this strategy just doesn't work or whatever. It's just saying, hey, look at what's going on around you. This may work more than it did before, right? And one of those things is, right, like, for example, right, wholesaling. Obviously, if you are well established in the game, right? Like me and T, right? You got relationships, you got your marketing budget, you know your area, you're knee deep in
systems,
processes, employees, virtual assistants, regular, whatever. You got all that stuff dialed in. It's going to be easier for you to keep it going even through a hard time. But I'm going to explain why it's harder. Doesn't mean that you can't come in the game and wholesale. You can. If you're just trying to lean on your own knowledge, it's probably going to be harder than it was for me and T when we got in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because it's a different market now. So, yeah, absolutely you can do it. But the knowledge standpoint, you don't have that experience and knowledge to do it. You're basically, we played the game at, intermediate level. You hopping in on hard. But if you got a teacher, it's like you're playing on easy.
Yeah.
So that's really all it is. But for example, like the reason why, if you're calling people or you reaching out to people, you maybe call, 10 to 50 people. You're like, man, don't nobody want to sell their house, which is false. That's false. Usually it's probably a lot of times your skills are just not that good. They don't know who you are. They don't like you. They don't trust you. You don't have a website. You don't come off confident. All those things probably affected. Just saying that, throwing that out there. So that's false. People definitely still want to sell their house. But why you have more pushback and why there are less people that want to sell their house, because you're not giving them an option that makes sense for them.
Exactly.
If they have an interest rate at 3% and they sell that house, now they have to go get a house that's at 7. They got to go get a house that's at 7%, and it might be the house that costs the same, right? Let's do a quick example. $300,000 house. Cool. They got a mortgage payment on it. Whatever that mortgage payment is, let's say it's 3%. Y'all can do the math, whatever. I'm not doing it right now. Let's say it's whatever, $2,000 a month or something like that, probably around there. So they sell that property, right? They make their equity, whatever their equity is. So they go and buy a new house, right? Let's say a better house, $400,000. They had $100,000 in equity. They put that down. Now their mortgage is $300,000, but now their payment is not $2,000. It's $2,800. It's $3,000, even though the mortgage is the same, because they're going from one house and they moving everything. Even though they get a nicer house and they take some of their money and put it down on that house, they're still paying a higher mortgage amount, which is affecting their whole total household bills, income. That's an extra $800, $900, $1,000 that they're paying a month for the house to be like, they're weighing it out and saying, this doesn't make sense. I'm gonna just wait until it comes down a little bit more where it is more feasible for my family. And then you got the rich and the ultra rich who really don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying,
right. But that's another thing to think about too, is like a lot of these builders, and I want to go into something else real quick too, but a lot of these, because that's very important as far as these orders go. A lot of these builders, like, okay, you may be building for. It's like, I know for especially in Indianapolis, right? Is like there's like a area or a certain price range, let's say, that you're not getting a lot of buyer pool right now, because it's either too high, the payment's going to be too high, or they're just not ready to move from those interest rates because of the properties that they're in now. So basically from like 300 and up here to about 275 here to about 900,000, 800,000. You're building homes for people that, it still matter. It still matter. Do you see what I'm saying? So it still matters for them if they paying too much on stuff. They may be getting a lot of bread, but it ain't like galore.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Extra $1,000 a month is like, it's not worth it to make that jump.
It's not, bro. But now you dealing with people that, now those buyers that were normally going to buy those houses, now if they really want to buy a house, they probably going to settle for something less. So they're going to jump down into this 275 or 300 and below. So that $400,000, $500,000 house that they were going to buy, now they're like, we have to settle for 300. You know what I'm saying? We got to settle for 250 in a area, probably a little further out that can still give us that size, that we wanted or whatever it may be, right? But when you come down to it, those people that are building for like $1 million and up houses, them people got money where yes, it affects them, but they got enough money where it's like, it's not affected. I'm still seeing houses go up in $1 million neighborhoods, $1 million plus neighborhoods here. You know what I'm saying? They're still getting bought. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, even through all of this, like, they're still getting bought in those areas because the economy is not affecting that type of money that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, that hard. So I think that's something to think about too. But another, I don't know if you had anything else on that, but another thing I really wanted to talk to was the fact that they basically, another thing that he spoke to was lowering the cost of housing for people, right? So when I say that, I'm talking about the cost of household expenses.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That's something that's huge too. Because right now,
Yep.
I don't care what nobody say, but these utility bills are out of control. I mean, they are, bro. I mean, they out of control. I don't even know how to regulate. I don't know how they regulate them, but I'm like,
Yeah, me either. I don't
when
know
I
either.
first moved
I
in,
look at them, I'll
it
be
didn't went
like, damn, all
everything
right.
that went up. I mean, everything that went up. And so, like I said, it's more of it's more of everything connecting again. So how does he do that? He's going to lower utility costs. He's going to lower like household expenses. He's going to lower groceries.
Right.
You
The
know what I'm
fuel
saying? Eggs is out of
like
control
that.
now. That's where the connection comes. He's going to use more fossil fuel. He's bringing more back in more fossil fuel American energy to use instead of going the natural route and us paying a lot more to get in, etc. Because right now, what he needs to do is lower the household expenses. That's huge right now. I mean, it just is. You go to the grocery store. I mean, I got 2 kids and a wife, right? For 4 people to eat every week, like to buy groceries, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like for people that's even living paycheck to paycheck, that's trying to get through, a hard time or I mean, it could take them out. It can
Yeah.
take them out. Like they can't get past that level. And it's like, dang, we trying to grow as a nation. We not trying to go backwards. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's what that's doing. These expenses of household expenses is just getting extremely high.
And that's needed. About you, and that's needed because I mean I'm not sure what it is. I don't have it right in front of me, but like the credit card debt and stuff like that is the biggest that it's been in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
A very long time. You know what I'm saying? Like people just cannot afford what it is. Like the rate of jobs and stuff like that equate to rent and what we have to pay for everything else is not math. The math ain't math, and it's like girl math. It's basically girl math. It just don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. It's girl math right now. Our whole economy is girl math. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
That's why it's so, you know what I'm saying? Upside down and stuff. But that doesn't mean it's not an opportunity still for you to make money with it. You got winners and you got losers, period. At the end of the day, you can blame whoever. Trump for getting in office, Biden for not doing what he's supposed to do. You can do all of that. Or you can sit back and say, okay, cool. This is the world that I live in right now for the next year, 4 years, 8 years, whatever. Here's what's happening. Let me understand it. How do I put a plan together around it? That's the thing that you need to do and not to say, oh, complain about it. As an example, oh, dang, Trump said he was going to lower the interest rates, man, this year. You know what I'm saying? He did. Well, what can you do still about it? Are you just going to not make no money? You know what I'm saying? So, or are you just not going to make that move? Are you not going to buy that property? Are you not going to get into real estate just because he didn't lower the interest rates? No, maybe let me get the price a little bit cheaper. Let me see if they'll do maybe seller financing. Let me see if let me learn these different terms. Maybe see if instead of wholesaling this one, this doesn't make sense for this person. Maybe my brother or somebody I know, they got an Airbnb. They've been looking to sell theirs. Hey, maybe I can match make it. Maybe you can move over there. Like, cool. You may have to do other things that you didn't necessarily have to do. It's the time where you bring them skills out, baby.
Gotta bring them skills out. But yeah, I think it's just a time to like not lean on it, but pay attention. So
yeah,
to me, how you gonna capitalize on this is really paying attention to the policy changes and trying to build around that. Right. So if you see they making, he making the regulations as far as an investor, coming from an investor standpoint, obviously I'm always thinking like an investor. I'm coming from an investor standpoint. That's our day to day. Like how I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at the regulations that they making, right? I'm thinking like this is not something that he said yet though, right? But I 100% think one of the biggest things that he did that people, especially of our culture, don't pay attention to is the tax advantages. You know what I'm saying? Because he made it 100% bonus depreciation that you can take, I believe in your first year is what it was, right?
We wrote off. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
And we wrote off 6 figures. I mean,
we wrote off everything.
This is stuff that we've actually done, y'all. Like literally, like I know we laughing about it and playing around, but like we've actually done this stuff. Like that's why we have the community, the real estate community that we have. If y'all interested in that, definitely comment below. Comment wealth, comment a money bag, comment something. Say I'm interested. Let us know. But like we've done cost segregation studies on when we had 70 properties at one time, and we was having to write off all of them, and he had just passed that 100% depreciation within the first year. I've seen those numbers. Do you see what I'm saying? I know how crazy and how much of an advantage that was. Like, here's what people go wrong. Here's what people go wrong is they take it as people look at it as only the rich can take advantage of the tax advantages.
Mm-hmm.
No, the tax strategy is actually anybody that invests in real estate, anybody that has a regular mortgage that's bought their home. All of the tax codes are written for you to succeed in real estate. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you got a mortgage entry, you write that off. You're writing that off every year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People don't understand that. So I think a big thing coming forward, I think he's gonna, because they took it out of place. So I think this year, and don't quote me on this, guys, but I think this year or last year was like where it dropped to 50%, and then it dropped off again to it was supposed to drop off again to 25%, and then it's going to be lower. So, with that being said, y'all have to pay attention to that, because if he brings that back to 100%, God, he's saving people so much on taxes, which brings more developers back into it, which brings more buyers for our wholesalers and for our people that's looking to sell investment properties and flips, stuff like that. So it's gonna help flood the market, indirectly, but at the same time saving people taxes. You have to understand that. So
yeah, absolutely. Saving taxes is making money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just look at it. If you're able to save more money a year, then you make money.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly what it is. And then, even on that token, I just feel like, tax wise, man, he's a beast with it, because he had to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that he had to do. And I think you guys will see different tax advantages even coming again. Familiarize yourself with opportunity zones. Do you understand what I'm saying? Familiarize yourself with opportunity zones. Because not only
in his bag right now, y'all. In his bag right now, y'all. Hey, man, throw some fire in the chat. Listen, go look up opportunity zones. Don't play yourself, man.
Don't play yourself, because these opportunity zones, if you purchasing in these opportunity zones, I mean, you're right. You're able to get rid of capital gains tax about a certain year that you sell it, right? It depends on the opportunity zone and stuff like that. Like I said, do your own research. But I know here in our market, we've bought multiple properties in opportunity zones, and so the capital gains tax that we got on those after selling them after a certain amount of time was like, some of them were 50% where it wiped it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was only 5 years in or whatever it is, and stuff like that. But like, man, familiarize yourself with that, because if you buy, your personal house, I believe it's 3 years that you have to be living in it before you can sell it and get less of the capital gains tax on it, right? But as an investor, it's huge to know what opportunity zones are. You might fumble up on something that's like, you're like, whoa, I'm cool off of that. But if you would have looked at it as an opportunity zone type of ordeal, and you was buying it to buy and hold, eventually when you sell that other house that you just went and bought, you would have made more money on this one.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The numbers really math. You know what I'm saying?
Just to go buy this one now.
Exactly.
Thinking about right now instead of the future, because you just don't know the strategy, just because you're not educated. Again, on our program. Because we're gonna tell you. Like, I'm not gonna let you. I'm just saying, like, I'm just not gonna let y'all go without that knowledge, and that's something that's huge for us. Being able to teach, like, open people's eyes up to stuff that, like, they haven't seen before, like, or don't know about. That can play a huge part of, like, building wealth.
Yeah, and that's the thing in our community, you know what I'm saying, that we need, and we want to do that for y'all as we continue to learn and grow too. It's not like we know everything either.
Exactly.
Bro, we know a hell of a lot though. $10 million portfolio. Did that 60 units, hundreds of deals, wholesale, subject tools, lease options, flips, all of that stuff. You name it, we've done it on a single family. 10-unit apartment building, we've done it. So it's so many different things that we know knowledge wise. I was telling somebody the other day, T, I was like, yo, we basically like 70 years old. You know what I
Right.
mean? Especially in the Black community too. Like our community, we like 70 something. Like the knowledge that we have with this, just even the ups and downs. We got scars too. It ain't all pretty.
Absolutely.
We got scars.
Definitely not all peaches and cream.
Yeah, we got scars too. We didn't know. We didn't know this. We got to figure all this out on our own. You know what I'm saying? And we in the early 30s. So you already know how our kids gonna be set up. I'm good. We can coach. Me and T can coach. Bro, go out, have a little drink, a margarita. You know what I mean? Travel 3-4 times a year with the kids and do this and chill out and do this and do that and do this and coast our way, and our retirement still gonna be good.
Just because we know the game.
Just because we know the game.
Because there's certain times of the game that like we missed out on, that real estate is so cyclical, right? So everything that has already happened is gonna happen again. And when it happens, now we're like, ding, 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 ding. You see what's happening? You see what's happening? So this is gonna last for about a year. This is gonna last for about 6 months. Let's take advantage of it.
Go make that move.
Boom. We making those moves for 6 months. Boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? There's been times that when we were like, again, not having people like us to tell us that if we would have had somebody that was direct, like a community, like how we're building right now, if we had those folks on there, I mean, if we had those folks and we were in that type of community, that we wouldn't have missed out on millions of dollars. Like I'm talking about millions of dollars, though. It's not even funny. Like sometimes it hurts. You know what I'm saying?
We calculated it, man. It was y'all, we missed out on 5 million by not seeing something the correct way. All this stuff that we talking to you guys about is mindset, and not even mindset, it's knowledge. Because mindset, you can work as hard as you want. If you don't recognize, we was working hard. We not lazy.
We are.
We work hard, y'all. Like we work hard, bro.
Literally work from 8 o'clock to and shoot. Right? I don't consider this work, but like I've been sitting right here, back and forth, from 8 this morning.
He said, "Well, I'm about to go get coffee and come back and hop on it." Pause.
Yeah, man, you gotta relax. Coffee. I had this. I'm about to go get this basketball game.
Oh man, y'all, but yo, just study your craft. Study your craft. Stephen Curry know every single thing about basketball. He probably know how many rivets is in the. He know everything about it. You know what I'm saying? So just be obsessed about it. Come join us if you want to join us. If you want to win, we are starting a movement and things like that as far as really getting yourself going and getting you to that next level, because we have been there. We are, we doing it as well. We got new episodes on our podcast and stuff like that coming out as well too. So look out for that. But that's what Trump got going on as far as now. You know what I mean? There is no like crazy set in stone plan, but just from us, high level view, breaking this down. These are things that we definitely can look forward to in 2025. And I think, we'll see. I guarantee y'all come back and be like, y'all was right. At least for more than half of the stuff that we talked about, we right about.
And don't forget, y'all, before we head out of here, don't forget, pay attention over this next 30 to 90 days. Pay attention, because this is where they're going to actually spell out a lot of these things. So right now it's very general. You may not see this stuff happen even in 2025 directly, right? But just pay attention to what's spelled out coming and moving forward. So we appreciate y'all, obviously, for joining us. Let us know in the comments too. Did y'all like this? Do y'all want us to do more, live streams like this? It's fun for us. We like to do this, man, but just getting more people in here, definitely share. But we appreciate y'all for joining us tonight, man. Moguls in the making, you know what it is.
Yeah, let's get it.
Get it.